Good morning, students. Welcome back to the fourth part of metal ligand bonding in transition metal complexes. I am going to start the second part, that is crystal field theory. We have learnt about the drawbacks, limitations of valence bond theory. Now we are going to discuss about the crystal field theory, which overcome or the theory overcome the drawbacks, limitations of valence bond theory. Crystal field theory was presented by H. Beth in 1929 and B. Blech in 1932. On the basis of crystal field theory, bonding between central metal ion and its ligands are due to pure electrostatic interaction. If the ligand is negatively charged, the attraction towards the positively charged metal ion is due to opposite charges. But if the ligand is neutral molecule like H2O, NH3, then the negative end of the dipole. Students, try to understand, if the ligand is negatively charged, then it can easily attract towards the positive charges. But if the ligand is neutral like water and ammonia, then its negative end of the dipole is attracted towards the central positive ion, and this attraction between the ligand and the central metal ion is purely electrostatic interaction according to crystal field theory. Now there are assumptions of crystal field theory. On that basis, again we have to see the hybridization according to crystal field theory. First of all, in a complex, the transition metal ion is placed in the center. It means that it is surrounded by the ligands with lone pair of electrons. Transition metal ion is surrounded by the ligands with lone pair of electrons. Then second thing is, all types of ligands are considered as point charges. That is, the ligands are either negative like fluoride, chloride, cyanide, etc., or molecules such as H2O, NH3, CO, that is carbonyl, etc., with the negative ends for their dipoles directed towards the metal ion. They are considered as point charges. If the ligand is neutral, then the negative end of the dipole is directed towards the metal ion. There is no interaction between the metal orbital and the ligand orbital. The attraction between the metal ion and the ligand is purely electrostatic, that is 100% ionic. That is 100% ionic. The electron of the metal are repelled by the negative field of the ligand. Electrons of the metal are repelled by the negative field. Therefore, metal electrons occupy d orbitals, which have their lobes far away from the direction of the ligands. Interaction between the metal ion and the negative ends are the anions. Then it is 100% ionic. The number of ligands and their arrangement around the metal ion determine the nature and strength of the crystal field. Number of ligands and their arrangement around the metal ion will determine the nature and strength of crystal field. The last assumption, that is the degeneracy of d orbit of the free metal ion, is removed by the ligands when a complex is formed. Due to the electrical field of the ligand, the energies of phi d orbital will split up. This conversion of 5 degenerate d orbitals of the metal ion into different set of orbitals with different energies is called crystal field splitting. What do you understand by the crystal field splitting? That is degeneracy. Conversion of 5 degenerate d orbital of the metal ion into different set of orbital with different energies is called crystal field splitting. This degeneracy of d orbital of the free metal ion is removed by the ligand when complex is formed. This is all about the assumptions.